Amsterdam so we can smoke a joint. No, I'm joking. Sorry. Don't tell it to my mom. Okay, I know you guys are all tired. It was a long day, so I'm going to keep it short. It's about 2 hours, and then we can get some drinks. So today I'm going to talk about the technology behind an idea. So who can tell me what the technology is behind an idea? Not a lot of people? Could be, but that's not the good answer. The technology behind an idea, it doesn't exist. So actually my whole title is already a lie. That's the only lie that I'm going to tell today at this presentation. Because it doesn't exist, just like the monster of Loch Ness. Actually, I should try this works. Because we all know that the monster of Loch Ness is actually an elephant. No? Ah. Okay, doesn't matter. The whole thing is about that. You know, I believe that every great campaign and everything that we're all doing and discussing today, it should start with a great idea. So today I want to share a little story about how a little idea actually brought me all over the world and what I learned from it, and I think you guys can learn something from that as well. So I saw that Frederick was also using Back to the Future, so props for that. So I want to go back in time a little bit. About 2.5 years ago. Is this too far for the thing? Yeah, probably. I'll just stand here. It's okay. No, it's okay. So about 2.5 years ago, I was living in Amsterdam, working as a creative copywriter for different advertising agencies. And I don't know, I was working for 6 years, and then I was sort of thinking about my life, and I was like, you know, is this going to be the rest of my life? Every day on my bicycle, it rains a lot. I guess you guys have a lot of rain as well. I don't like it, maybe you like it, but I was a bit fed up with it. So I thought, like, you know what? I'm just gonna flip the script. So I decided to quit my job, leave my apartment, and actually I gave my bed to an orphanage. And I thought, I'm gonna travel the world. So basically, I bought an around the world ticket, but actually after calculating, like this whole day was about numbers. I'm not a numbers guy, so I didn't do any calculations. It's like, yeah, man, I'm just going to travel. And then I saw that the US is actually pretty expensive, so I didn't have enough money to do all the things that I wanted to do, which is not that smart. But I thought, you know, I always think in solutions, so I've actually found a way or an idea to make it last longer. So, and I made it simple enough to explain it in one tweet. So the tweet is, the backpacker intern travels the world, helping out agencies, brands, and charities for food and a place to sleep. That's actually a good way you can use as well for your own company or ideas, to just craft it into one tweet. Because if you can't explain it simply enough, you probably don't understand it well enough, like our big friend Einstein once said. So yeah, so actually, so this was just the idea, but then I needed a way to sort of tell it to the world. And to do that, I created a 1-minute video. I hope that the sound works. See if it goes.
Hello world.
That works.
Meet Mark van der Heijden. Hello
This
world.
is
This is his life. Meet Mark van der Heijden. This is his life. Tennis. He lives in Amsterdam with his mates. Loves to play tennis. Have a beer with his mates and dance until the sun comes up. But most of the time he works as a creative copywriter at advertising agencies. He's made work for brands like KLM, Dance for Life, TNT Express, Doctors Without Borders, Audi, and many more. But for him, the Netherlands is just, you know, the Netherlands. And Mark wants more. So he quit his job and left his apartment, starting an adventure in January 2014 to travel the world as the backpacker intern, helping out agencies, brands, and charities. Mark can originate concepts, craft copy, take photographs, devise strategies, give presentations, and play a mean game of ping pong. But he doesn't want to get paid. He just wants to trade a day of his work for food and a place to sleep. He hopes to meet you soon. Follow his adventures and get in touch at thebackpackerintern.com.
What I actually made with the help of friends, which was pretty cool. Otherwise, I could have never done something like that. So I would also suggest to build a network of friends who can actually do really cool stuff, so they can help you to grow your brand and make some cool things happen. I actually got some job offers from Latvia as well. I don't know if they're in the audience, probably not. Does anyone know anyone from Inspired Digital? Yeah? Dita Admin or something? No? And another one was from, his name was Yanis Freimanis from Clicks. No? Is that you? No. Oh, that would be crazy. Okay. So, yeah. I didn't go there, but I replied, I think. I hope so. Because when I launched the video, it kind of exploded, the whole project. And it got picked up by a lot of media from all over the world. I was on Adweek and MTV and TEDx, and it was just complete madness. And it actually really took off after that because of the whole media impulse. And it resulted in more than 750 job offers from all over the world, even in Riga. And yeah, so that was just in 2 weeks. I was like, wow, I think this kind of works. So I was in the daytime working at Amnesty International. That was my first stop. And at night, I was just replying to all those emails. And these were just job offers, but they all said like students, and everybody was emailing. And at that time, I still thought that I should reply to everyone, even like students who had like 1,000 questions. Like, no, I need to help everyone. And now I'm more like scanning because it's too much. But yeah, so the last 2 years I've been traveling around the world. I just got back 1 month ago to Amsterdam in the rain. And yeah, so I worked in 27 countries at 32 different companies on 7 continents. And then you see this little penguin thinking, 7? Yeah, because Antarctica is also it's a continent, and actually the screen. I worked at a cruise company who also does research on Antarctica, and I just spent 11 days, on that amazing island. I saw like 50 whales and thousands of penguins, and I slept one night on the ice. We had to dig our own grave and like sleeping under this amazing blanket of stars. Then it was beautiful, and then I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it was raining. Like, oh man, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, and then I helped them with like branding and marketing and exchange. So it was kind of crazy how this whole idea took off. But besides working, it also gave me the opportunity to see a lot of amazing places in the world. I saw a few world wonders. Just got back from India, so I saw the Taj Mahal. But I also discovered that traveling, or maybe life in general, it's not about the places you visit, but it's about the people you meet. And that was for me actually the most valuable. All the conversations with all those different kinds of people. Like I spoke with drug traffickers in the favelas in Rio de Janeiro until Malala, who just won a Nobel Prize for Peace. And all those conversations are actually giving you a really interesting perspective on life. And yeah, so I would say travel as much as you can, if you can. But I'll get back to that. And then it took even more off. So it's pretty crazy. I actually was invited in December 2014 by the White House. I mean, like, the White House, the real White House. Isn't that cool? No? Okay, I thought it was cool. Yeah, and actually, this is something I'm really proud of, although it's just a piece of paper. But it says, the White House and then the backpacker intern. It's just crazy. Actually, it's cool because one of my friends who's now helping me with my company, this guy, Bradley, he just came in from Washington. Can I get a shout out for Bradley? Applause for him. So it's pretty funny. I didn't know actually that this was going to be, but okay. And of course, the highlight is that I was invited to speak here. So thank you very much for being amongst all those speakers. Okay, so that's a bit about the story, and I want to share a few lessons because I know you're all thirsty and tired, so I don't want to take too long. First of all, one of the most important things is don't take yourself too serious. A lot of people are too serious about everything they're doing, which becomes quite boring, and then it's also a big mistake. If you make a mistake, then people really think like, oh man, you made a mistake. But if you're just like, I don't give a shit, then I think you will go further. So as an example, I don't know, I was working at a startup. It's called Go Euro. This was in Berlin. It's like a travel company. It's pretty cool. And I don't know, I just posted this, brainstorming with two of my biggest fans. And yeah, it got quite some traction. I don't have a presentation with all the numbers and stuff, so sorry if you came for that. I'm a different kind of presenter, I guess. Okay, 2, really important, is make friends with relevant brands. And that works for every kind of company, because you have to be really strict about who you want to work with. So you have to know yourself. You know, what's your mission? What's your vision? What do you stand for? So don't say yes to everything. Like when I launched the project, I got a lot of companies that actually wanted to do something, or they wanted to have banners on my website, and I was like, I don't want all this stuff. Like I want to keep it pure. I was a bit more like a hippie-ish, like I want to do everything for free. And then after 1 year, I was like, actually, I do need some money now. So, but I still wanted to stay true to what I was doing. So I've just, collaborated with brands that actually had a similar mission and that could actually help each other, and that I would believe in myself. So one example is a collaboration I did with Gilroy. I don't know if anybody knows Gilroy in the audience. Some people, no? So Gilroy is a youth travel agency, and I think they're in a few places in Europe, and it's a pretty cool company. So actually my first ticket that I bought, the 6 months around the world ticket, I bought it with them. And so afterwards I was like, I actually was happy with the service. So I thought maybe we can do something cool together. I didn't want to just put like banners on my website. So what we did is I came up with the idea to create a product. So it's the Backpacker Intern World Ticket. And yeah, the idea was that people could follow my footsteps, and they were like, oh, that's so cool, so we're going to do it. So, the win-win situation was that, they were promoting sort of my brand on their website, and on my website I was promoting their tickets and their products. So it felt like a pretty smooth collaboration. And they liked it so much that they actually sponsored my ticket to go to South America. So that was pretty cool. And then we decided to do some more stuff. So this was one other example. They have this sweater with Live the Dream, Travel the World, Study Abroad, Explore Life. And they gave me one, and then I made some pictures in different cool spots in South America. And then people had to guess where it was. And if they had it right, then they would win a sweater, which, it gained quite some traffic as well. And for them, actually more sales as well. So that was cool. It was pretty cool. Dare to let go. This is a bit a story about that you should not be afraid to do some experiments. So I missed a flight, quite an expensive one as well. I was in Cannes in the southern of France, and I had to go to New York. And it was one of those nights that I thought it was smart to just keep on partying until 7 o'clock in the morning, because I had to take a bus at 8 o'clock. I was like, no, I'll stay awake, it's okay. And then I came back at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I was like, okay, just lay down for like 15 minutes, and then, then I'll take my bag, and then we'll go. And of course, I woke up at like 8:30 or something, like, oh, fuck. So I missed it, and so I had to reschedule. I took a bus, I ended up in Düsseldorf, and then I would fly the next morning to New York. But I didn't fix anything, like a place to stay, or so I was like at the train station in Düsseldorf, and at like 9 o'clock in the evening, and I had to be at the airport at 7. But I didn't want to sleep at the airport, and all the hostels were booked. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try and see if the people who are following me could help me out, just as a social experiment. So I was in Starbucks posting this picture, like, does anybody know a place to stay in Düsseldorf? Would be appreciated. I'm awake for 48 hours. And then, people were like helping out on every social media channel. So I was like using all different kinds of media. And then at one point, a guy on Twitter actually gave me some advice. And he said, you still have battery, use Tinder. I was like, that's actually it's a pretty cool idea. So I swinged on Tinder. And, I changed some profile pictures, some beach pictures, and I gave all I got. So I was like Tindering my ass off, and there was all these channels trying to fix stuff. And so I had like 2 or 3 girls who were interested, but I, of course, couldn't tell what I was doing, because I had to seduce them. Yeah, so in the end, actually, yeah, the whole Tinder thing failed pretty badly. But another girl who was on Facebook, actually, she picked me up with her boyfriend, and they put me in their living room. And they were really nice. I took a shower, and the next morning they actually they dropped me off at the airport. And it was just really cool because she was from Romania, and I was going to visit Romania after New York. So we became friends. So kind of, it's just weird, like how this happened, Just like I'm stuck asking people, and then you meet kind of new friends for life. So that's sort of the things that could happen, I guess, if you dare to let go and take a risk. It's almost like Arnold Schwarzenegger would say something like this. I don't know. I never used this, so I'm just testing it as well a bit. A and B. No chain, no gain. This is about that it's always good, especially on social media, if you create posts or call to actions that actually will gain a chain reaction. So you want to create something that more people will easily adapt to, which will evolve into something that more people will see and more people will want to engage with. So this is kind of an experiment I did. I was Skyping with one of my friends. I was in London, and I don't know, this cat jumped on my lap, and I was like, oh, and I made a picture, and it looked like a high five. And it was actually World Animal Day, so I'm like, just maybe, it has nothing to do with my whole trip, but I just thought like, maybe I can try, see what happens. So I asked people like, hey, can you also give your pet some extra love and give him a high five and share it? And then I got a goat from Slovakia, which is pretty cool. Got like 20 likes for that picture. And then more people started to share their animal pictures. Bratislava, I don't know, Trinidad and Tobago, California. Hello from Bangkok, Thailand. And then I also got like 300 new followers in one day just because of this, little sort of experiment or action. So, but it's also because I made it really simple to engage with, and it was a relevant moment to do it on World Animal Day. Fail hard. I think Ton also mentioned something like this, and I also believe in this theory. I think it's good to make mistakes, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it. This is quite embarrassing, what I'm going to share, but and I never shared it, so we'll see. But I also don't care, so that's already the solution, or whatever. Okay, I got this email from a guy who was all the time on Twitter, like asking me, like, "Hey, Mark, come to Slovakia, come to Slovakia." I was like, "Dude, what the fuck should I do in Slovakia, man?" And then he sent this email, like, "I'm a journalist from a TV show in Slovakia. It's the most watched channel, millions of people watching it, and they wanted to have me in the morning show." And then I was like, okay. So I said, okay, you know what? If you pay my ticket, I was in Romania. If you pay my ticket, like one-way ticket, I'll just go there, I'll go to the show, and then I will tell my story, and then, say like, I don't have an internship yet. So if the first company that will call, I will just go there and work there. It's like, yeah, man, such a cool idea. So they fixed the ticket. I was like, yeah, cool. And so I arrived at like 3 o'clock at night. I had to be at the studio at 4:30, also almost no sleep. And I came in, I have a little snippet of the show. It's quite embarrassing, I think. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Brilliant. What do you plan to do in Slovakia? Have you already job in Slovakia? Máš prácu už na Slovensku?
No, nothing. So this is actually, I thought it was a good moment to ask the people, like, if you have a cool agency or brand or charity, then I could help you out because...
Takže pokiaľ máte nejakú nadáciu, pokiaľ máte svoju agentúru a chcete, aby Mark, ktorý má skúsenosti naozaj s mnohými brandami známymi na Slovensku, tak sa mu skúste ozvať a môžete...
I don't know. I'm also looking like, is this guy fucking me or whatever? Like, I didn't know. So he was translating something, but I was like, it's okay, So after the show, I was like, I need to check my email. And then I was checking everything, and like, how many responses do you think I got? 0, nothing, like fucking nothing. And I was like, oh man, so I failed pretty hard, but but also like it's also a bit of my mentality, and I think it's good to have that. I think everybody should have it. I just thought like, fuck it, you know, what does it matter? I just did a cool experiment. I went to Bratislava. I never been there. Been to this morning show, which was hilarious, and I'm still friends with the journalist, which is a really cool guy. So yeah, so I just think like you shouldn't be afraid, and just say literally out loud more like fuck it. So maybe we should all say it right now. So I count to 3, and then on 3 we all say fuck it. Okay? So 1, 2, fuck it. No, we have to do it better. On 3, okay? So 1, 2, fuck it. Okay, I never did it. This is really funny. It works. Okay. Okay, so fuck it. And then there's another thing that people say. You know, it's a famous quote. It's like, you know, the sky is the limit. But I believe in something bigger. So I love to say, the sky is just the start. So you can even like, you know, think bigger than you can ever imagine. And talking about starting, so I just came back from this 2-year world trip. So I'm kind of done with the internships. But for me, it was such a life-changing experience, and I met so many amazing people around the world that got inspired that I actually, I decided to start my own company, which kind of does the same thing that I did, but then better. And I figured out that, you know, my number one learning from working at all those companies all over the world is the fact that people are stuck in routine. Because every day you see the same faces in the same places. While creativity and innovation, it thrives when you break the routine and when you have a fresh perspective. So every time when I came into a company, you know, the whole company lived up, and it was actually a great tool that they could use for internal projects and pitches and new prospects. So I decided to sort of transform this into a business model. It's also lean, so we're just starting it up. So the company is called Wonderbrief. And wonder as in wanderlust, and brief is temporary, but also assignment. And we're a global platform where people can exchange their creativity for an experience abroad. So it's not like a job board for freelancers, but it's the whole idea is that it's a work-life experience. So basically, it's really easy in 3 steps. So on the website that we're building right now, that's why my team member Bradley is here now. Because he's a kick-ass developer. You can explore, so you can see all the Wonder Briefs around the world, and then you can connect with a host. So if you think like, oh, this is Red Bull Austria, that's a cool company, I want to go there. If they agree with your profile, then you make a connection, and then you go and wander. And the whole idea is that it's free for creatives, because you actually pay with your creativity, and then in exchange, you get a work-life experience. Because you're going to stay at a local's house. So one of the employees will actually set you up. And the cool thing about that is that you will see the city in a way that you will never see. Because it's stuff that's not in the books, you know. The locals will take you, and you will learn about their, you know, their local language, how they actually live their life. And then in the end, you come back with, you know, a work-life experience. You made new friends around the world, and you have a richer CV. So that's a bit of the idea. Our payoff is refresh your perspective. So as a company, as a person, and eventually the world. This is a bit of the visual style. So we're literally building the beta at this moment. The team so far is myself and Valentine. He's in the back, making a picture of yourself. That's a good timing. Okay, so almost done. The technology behind the idea, that was the start of my presentation. And actually, it was something I said it doesn't exist. But if I had to explain it in a way, I would say it like this. So the technology behind the idea is you need to use your brains, your brain power, to come up with an idea. So for instance, pretending that you're the monster of Loch Ness. And most importantly, you need to have balls to do it. Well, yes.
Paldies.
Thanks.
Okay, maybe you have some questions for Mark. Do you have? No? I have one. You have one?
Sorry? Oh, so if we're going to work our ass off, which we're going to do, the plan is in the beginning of December. So if you want to join or have any advice, feel free. It will be cool. We want to help people in Latvia as well.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. We have one question from Twitter.
Oh.
Are there any differences between creative agencies in USA and Europe?
Yeah, there are quite some differences.
What kind of differences?
The
basics.
I think maybe the main difference would be the fact that the whole culture is different. So, for instance, if you want to apply for a job in Europe, people are more chilled. Like, yeah, you know, I did this, and they're more. But in the US, people are almost bragging, like, I did this, and I was on TEDx, and I did that, and I just did. So it's more a different way of how people also interact with each other. But I think, especially the big agencies like DDB and all the network agencies that are all over the world, they're all kind of the same because they have this same strategy that they apply all over the world. But of course, it depends within the culture how they work with that, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a good answer. I'm also tired, sorry.
Okay, more questions? No?
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Then thank you.
Cheers,
thank you.
bro.